Hello, my name is Robert Dean Steele, and this is Real Dads. We've been talking about blended families, and of course, you as a father have an incredible impact on this whole potential. Now, what needs to be discussed even before you come together is who is the final authority. It's absolutely essential that everyone knows in what areas you're going to operate. You need to clearly define your roles and responsibilities with your spouse, because many times, especially the ladies, they've probably been a single mom for a long time, and they've been doing all the jobs of dad and mom, and they're just used to doing things. And you as a dad, you've probably been parenting without a spouse, and so you've been doing the mom things, and so it's important that you work together. Or many times what happens with blended families is the family broke down because there wasn't clearly defined roles of authority, and that's what you need to talk about. That's what you need to pray through when it comes to creating a blended family. Also discuss how to ensure all children will be treated equally and fair. You see, you're not used to these individuals. You're not used to their personalities, and maybe from time to time they're going to rub you the wrong way. You see, there's a difference when they're your own children and when they are someone else's children. And so even though you love them and you want to work together with them, there is a tendency to treat them differently. Don't do that. Choose right away to make a decision that you're going to treat every child equally. And understand that there is a propensity to treat your children, your own biological children, different than it is to treat a blended family situation. And so you must make that decision right away that you're going to treat every child equally. The Bible is full of examples of how children were treated with favoritism and what happened. And so it's absolutely essential that you make that decision. Decide how you plan to lead by example as it relates to household rules and guidelines. I mean, break down parental responsibilities when it comes to housework, when it comes to example, when it comes to guidelines. You know, again, it's an area of discussion. What we're talking about here is having long conversations. Sitting down with a ledger, sitting down with different ideas and talking about them. Don't think for a simple moment that this thing is going to happen overnight. You have got to have a lot of discussions. The reason being is you're not a nuclear family. You're not the same mom and same dad that were, there from day one with these children. These children grew up with you type of situation. No, this is two families coming together with their own unique set of problems and difficulties. And especially if you're coming from a divorce situation. So you're already carrying certain baggage with you, certain expectations, certain problems. And so it's absolutely essential that you sit down and talk about these things. Be realistic with each other, simply because of the fact that you want to create the best model for success. You want to have the best marriage. You want to have the best relationship with your own children and with the children that are being brought into this relationship. So it is important that you sit down for those. Be consistent and build bonds through routine. Did you actually know that having an ordinary routine can actually build bonds together? For example, in the fall, you're out there and you're raking leaves as a family. You're working together. You know, the family that works together often stays together. When you have fun in doing ordinary routines, you need to understand that some of the best times come in the ordinary times, like making dinner together, like sitting down and having lunch together, watching TV together, just some of the ordinary things, going for a walk as a family, going for a drive as a family, going to a picnic together, going to a movie together. All of those things can be things that will actually build your family. Consistency helps people have children, that sense of security and stability. Be consistent. If you make your contract, you'll put it all out there. You've talked about it. Then be consistent. Work together. You are a team. Listen to me. You are two separate people coming together. You have different expectations, different views, but when you sit down and you talk about it and you come to a consensus, then be consistent. You know what will happen? It will build a strong unit, and the children will have that stability because they haven't had stability. They've had marriages that have fallen apart. They've had family situations where their whole world has been torn apart, and they're looking for stability and consistency. And when you come together with this new spouse, with this new individual, they're hoping that it's going to work. In fact, they're believing it's going to work. But what you need to do is you need to put everything in place to help make it work. You know, the best way to develop positive relationships within your new family is to talk and take time to listen to each other. You know what James says? James says, be quick to hear, be slow to speak, and slow to anger. 80% of good communication is being able to listen. All members, especially teens, are becoming adults, and they need to feel that their opinions are valued and are even considered in the decision-making process. You know, this can be a wonderful time to change direction, to create the type of family that God always intended you to be. Something went wrong in the previous relationship, but that doesn't mean that you have to make it and make the same mistakes again. You can change it. That's the marvelous thing about redemption. We can stop the madness and we can start all over again. That's what redemption is all about. And a blended family situation can become that. It can become the family that God always intended. When you bring God into the situation, when you communicate one with another, when you value each other's opinion and consider others in the decision-making process, it can be absolutely wonderful. So, it's not a loss-loss situation. It can be a win-win situation. But it means that you have to talk. Communication is the absolute foundation and bedrock of any blended family situation. Dad, you have the responsibility of leading the way. Do that. My name is Robert Dean Steele. You have yourself a godly day.